everyone, it's Carrie here. So this week I thought it would be good to talk about something that is so relevant to every single one of us as entrepreneurs. This is something that none of us can avoid. We all have to do this one thing, yet so many of us struggle with this. I know I have, and I will share some of my experiences with you. But it is this. It's launching. We all have to do it, every single one of us. If we want to put our ideas out there, if we want to build a successful business, at some point we have to launch. So in this week's episode, we are joined by Anne Samoilov, who is the founder of Fearless Launching, an amazing woman who helps entrepreneurs all over the world to launch successfully. And she shared 4 incredible tips for how you can overcome any overwhelm and all of that nonsense that goes alongside launching, and get a strategy in place to help you to do this, to help you to launch effectively, so that when you've got a new idea, a new product or a new service, you are going to have an amazing strategy to help you to make it happen faster and more efficiently than before. So I really hope you enjoy this episode.
Hi everyone, we are joined now by Anne Samoilov and we are talking all about launching. So Anne, thank you so much for being here. I am so excited to talk to you about this stuff because I feel like launching, every single entrepreneur has to do it, that there's no escape. All of us have to do it. And it's not just at the beginning of our business when we're launching our business. It's like throughout our whole journey as entrepreneurs, because whether we're coming up with new ideas, whether we have new products or services, we have to keep launching, and that's how we grow the business. But I sometimes find that launching is something that so many people struggle with. I know I have, where you've got this new thing and you've got this new idea and you're excited about launching it, but then you feel so overwhelmed and inundated by the amount of stuff you have to do. And then it's like you just procrastinate and put things off because you're not really following a strategy. And it's so frustrating. I know in the past there have been stuff I've wanted to launch and I just haven't launched it because I've just been like, I just don't know what to do with this anymore. But obviously you help so many people with this. So what are the other mistakes, or what are some of the mistakes you see people making when it comes to launching?
Well, first I just want to say that your experience is the same as almost everybody's.
That's good to know.
Experience, business owners, offline, online, whatever. Like the idea of launching something just has so many pieces that it's so easy. I mean, even myself, until I do some of the things, like until I take my own best advice and actually do those things, the thought of the launch is very overwhelming for me too. And I know it might seem crazy, but I've even said on occasion, like, I hate launching. And that seems like so crazy that I would say that, because I actually do love seeing people launch and helping people do that. But yeah, there are some pretty easy to remedy mistakes that people are making when they're launching. And I'm happy to share those tips.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, because obviously...
Should I just jump into
Yeah,
it?
because we all want to hear what we can all do to launch more effectively so that we can grow our businesses. So yeah, go straight into them.
Okay, full warning. Some of the stuff is going to be like, oh, you're not going to want to do it. Because like even some of these I struggle with. So the number one thing that I see people making a mistake with is not spending enough time understanding their customer and even what they're offering, and really spending like that. I feel like is why I always tell people to take a little bit longer with their launches, because the customer piece is, or knowing who you're even offering something to. Do they want it? Have you talked to enough people to validate that your idea isn't just going to be all for nothing? Because until you have that piece, you're basically setting yourself up to complete a to-do list that no one then even wants.
Yeah.
So before you even go to the to-do list, spend a ton of time, like a couple months, like start spying on people in Facebook groups and doing that kind of thing. And not spying in a bad way, but just seeing like, oh, okay, a lot of people are asking this question or whatever. That's one thing that I like to do. But spend time on your customer. And who you want your customer to be. And at first, it might not be obvious. And I say if you're struggling with it, you can kind of use somebody else's customer as the base for where you start from, because you'll be able to refine that over time. And even though you might do it once with customers, like you might figure out who you're serving, that is going to change over time. So just give yourself a starting point, maybe with someone else's audience, and say, oh, who's so-and-so's audience? What do they do? What do they struggle with? And then eventually you're going to see that slightly different people come to you. And that's what I did. The number 2 tip that I have is finding help. And that doesn't mean you have to spend money necessarily on a team or a big team, but you do need a few people kind of at least at your disposal to run your plan by, run your ideas by, have someone check up on you once in a while. As far as like, are you getting certain things done? I find that because of all the pieces, people, it's easy to make that plan, make that list, schedule it or it doesn't happen. But sometimes even when you schedule it, it doesn't happen if someone else isn't pushing you. And that's, but of course I am a big fan of finding people who are going to be interested in what you're doing and excited and want to push you to make it happen. And a team can come, like I said, in the form of unpaid people, paid people. It could be promotional partners, anybody who's going to keep you on task for launching what you want to launch. Some, keeping you honest. Like if you say you're going to launch in 2 months, maybe if you have a group of people who are going to help you promote that as affiliates, well, you might not want to let those affiliates down. This is actually, funny thing is, this is the week we're in Fearless Launching, is like the partners week, where I talk about team, affiliates, accountability, all that. Without that, you are making a huge mistake trying to go it alone. The next thing is your actual plan, but not in the sense of putting like a whole schedule together. One thing that I found really helpful and always helps me get back on track is to think about what kind of communication is going to go out to your people. And even just a timeline of, okay, I'm going to do a PS in my newsletter here. I'm going to do a full-on standalone email here. There's my first blog post where I mention it here. I'm going to so you can just go down through and do the outward facing communication plan first. And that actually will help you then, after you have that, then you will have a to-do list related to all those things. Like you'll have write these emails, set up this page, write this blog post. So you'll have tasks based on that communication plan. And the fourth and final and probably most important mistake and thing that you should kind of shift is, if you're selling something, set up your e-commerce system first. And that just means you list out what the customer is going to go through. Like they're going to hit an order form and they're going to hit the sales page. They're going to click a button. Does that button work? Does it go to an order form? Does that payment process? And getting that tested really far in advance is so important. I've been on big launches where, though, even when that's totally set up, that we've had to change payment processors in the middle of the launch. But the good thing is, because we had all the pieces set up, that like really critical piece, like the taking money piece, it wasn't so hard to switch out because we had all the other pieces in a row. So in order to make sure you don't make this big, can we even make the sale? We got to accept money here. Then, list out what your customer is going to go through when they've made their decision, from that initial hitting the sales page to hitting the thank you page, and maybe even getting your first few emails saying, hey, congratulations, you've signed up. That is critical and will affect your final launch numbers if people aren't excited or happy about how you met them at the door. Those are my four tips.
I just love it because I think it is like that. Especially when I sat here listening to you talking like that, you make it seem more relaxing and calming in the sense that you talk about like putting all the pieces in place. And I think that's really what it is. But I think so often, I've been guilty of this myself, and I'm sure lots of people have, where they'll just get so excited about something and just take a scattergun approach and it's just like trying to do so many things, and there's not really that strategic, they're not following a process. Whereas I like what you said, like it's just like a nice simple process, taking you right from the beginning of knowing who your customers are, making sure they actually want that, which is something we've been talking about a lot lately, because it's so important to understand that. Otherwise, how can you think of the right tone or the right language or the right message to send out to people? So like just going right from the beginning to the end and being systematic. And I love also what you said about getting people to help you, because I think this is something that we don't do enough. We don't ask for enough help. I know I am really bad at this.
People will help you for free sometimes. you know?
And it's,
If they care about you and they care about your business. I mean, I had a friend, my first launch, Carrie, like she just happened to not be working. She was in between her gigs and she's like, I just want to help you. And she's a project manager.
Oh, wow.
Like,
perfect.
Score.
Yeah.
So that first launch wouldn't have happened without her pushing me and telling me, oh yeah, it's happening.
Yeah. No, it's definitely true. It's amazing. But thank you so much for those tips. I think they're amazing. And I think every single one of us can get so much out of just following that system. So thank you so much for sharing them.
You're welcome.
If you want to find out more about Em, then head over to her website, fearlesslaunching.com, and check out her program. It's amazing. I will put all the links over on the website. But I would also love to hear what you think about this. Have you ever struggled when it comes to launching something and just wanted to put something out there but just felt so overwhelmed by it all? So head over to the blog and leave a comment, and I will see you next week for another dose of inspiration.